You've got the brains, you've got the stamina, you've got the vitality, you've got the interest, you've got your life ahead of you, you've got the future. But if anybody can do it, you can do it. If one of us can do it, hey, we all can do it. There is nothing you can't accomplish.
Have you ever heard people say, look here, I've done everything I can do. I'm only human. And when they say I'm only human, they're saying it from the perspective that I'm limited. You can only do so much. No. Most people give up on themselves easily. You know the human spirit is powerful. There's nothing as powerful as the human spirit. You can't destroy it. You can pervert it, but you can't destroy it. The possibilities for you are unlimited. If you're in a rebuilding process, if you're coming back from adversity and devastation, it's unlimited of what you can do. See, a dog can't be anything but a dog. Tree can't be anything but a tree. Human being, you've got unlimited potential. You can put effort on you, and by concentrating on you and developing you, you can transform your life wherever you are right now. And at some point or another, we're all going to get knocked down. The people who lose, they stay down. And they look for something to blame, giving themselves a reason why they stopped. But the winners, they accept it. They take responsibility for it. They learn from it. They grow from it. And they find a way to get back up.
I will never quit. I will persevere and I will thrive on adversity. I hold myself to that standard. I will be physically harder and mentally stronger than anything that comes against me, my family, my business, my brothers, my sisters, my team. I will be the one that is physically harder and mentally stronger, and I will work to maintain that position. And what that looks like, it looks like hard work. It looks like suffering. It looks like a dedication that people don't understand. And it is that. But at the end of all that, my friend, the bigger the struggle, the bigger the peace.
Regardless of how bad today was, when you feel like quitting, which you will, do not quit right now. That's emotion. Quit tomorrow. If you can keep quitting tomorrow, you can do anything.
You've been in it for 3 years and you about to quit. You've been doing it for 5 years and it don't look like you think. People are looking at you crazy. You put all your money in it. You put all your time in it. Hold on. You put too much in it to quit. Now you close. You about to drop out. You gone too far now. Hold on. You ain't quit now. Hold on. But this is my 6th time taking it. You gonna pass on the 7th. Hold on. But you better get something from all that you've been through. You close, boo. Don't give up now. You close, my brother. Hold on. Don't allow that inner doubt in you to talk you out of it. You ignore that inner voice. Don't judge the possibilities for what you can do based upon the circumstances, because the circumstances won't determine who you are. It is you and you alone that determines who you become. You must work on yourself continuously. You want to read books that inspire you and motivate you over and over and over again. And as you continue to work on yourself, you will begin to expand your vision of yourself. Keep moving forward. You got to keep moving forward. I just need you to keep moving. I need you to make up in your mind that the only way you can lose is if you quit. I just need you to keep going. And so you're going to have to learn to wrestle with it. You're going to have to learn to fight with it. You're going to have to put in a little bit more sweat, a little bit more tears. If you tell that thing, I'm here just like you here, and I promise you, I ain't leaving without the degree. I will not leave without that goal. I will not leave without that dream. I will not leave this university until I'm successful. You got to fight with that thing and tell that thing, you will quit before I quit. You'll give up before I give up. We gonna do this thing all night long, but I'm telling you that I'm not going to let you go until you bless me. Decide that when things become challenging, and they are, that you're not gonna personalize it, that you're gonna look at it, and you do whatever you must do in order to work things out and learn from it. You will always be faced with a series of God-ordained opportunities, brilliantly disguised as problems and challenges. If you've lost your job, don't say that I've been laid off. Just say I've been given an opportunity by the universe to find my life work. Now you become an active force in your life. Now you're the one, rather than running from things as they begin to change, you become a change driver, because you know that you've got the power within you to make the difference. This energy that you have, that's more powerful than anything that can ever happen to you.
The world wants to control your mind. And there's a battle for the way you think. Why? Because whatever gets your attention gets you.
What gets your attention is what matters.
Think about what you're thinking about. You got to decide. Are you going to let these things control you, or are you going to control them?
What I tell people all the time is, if they can't find one thing, they'll be distracted by many things. What you focus on expands.
If you hit a tree 1,000 times in 1,000 different spots, there's no guarantee it's going to fall. But if you hit a tree 1,000 times in that same exact spot, it's going to come to the ground. I need you to do the exact same thing every single day for the next 10, 15, 20 years and watch that tree come down.
Driven people destroy everything that gets in their way. You get my way, I'll bury you. Let me explain what driven means. The way that your eyes look, the way that you're paying attention in this room right now, it means everything. The little things don't mean a lot, they mean everything. How you wake up when the sun don't shine. How you wake up when you just lost your best customer. You lost 1 million, you lost 100, don't care. Don't care. I ain't going down, I'm staying high. I'm not going there.
Hold a vision of yourself being successful in the future with whatever you do. That's what you want to do, because your thoughts have magnetic power. Where focus goes, energy, persistence, faith, and determination flows.
You must wake up and take control of your mind. I don't feel like it. Shut your mouth. Winners live where quitters aren't.
Learning the art of becoming single-minded, learning how to concentrate, learning how to focus in. And you'll be surprised at the things that you're able to do when you learn how to block things out, when you learn how to keep thine eyes single.
Stay focused on your actions. Don't worry about what the haters say, or what your ex-girlfriend says, or your aunts and your uncles. Nobody gives. It's irrelevant.
You got to block out all the negative people. You got to block out every single obstacle, and you got to keep your eyes on the prize. You got to stay focused.
If you look at documentaries on successful people, they are weird because they've seen things that no one else seen for their career path. They're living beyond what is expected because they were obedient to the vision.
Stay focused. Stop caring what everyone thinks about what you're trying to accomplish. They can't possibly know or care how you feel. You must make decisions based on what you want first. Everyone else has their own agenda. Why not you?
You should be so focused, so busy on your own life, keeping the main thing, until you're oblivious as to what's going on around you.
Everything seems like it's important when you try to make your goals become a reality, but everything is not important. You got to make a decision. What's first, what's second, what's third. You got to concentrate on one thing at a time, because if you chase 2 rabbits, you won't catch none. Action is important. Work is important, yes, but work with no concentration. Work with no focus means what? You're doing 3 things poorly. And what I'm trying to teach you is, don't do 3 things poorly. It's better to do 1 thing great. And so your concentration, what you're focusing on throughout the course of the day, it has to change. What you're looking at, what you're reading, what you're watching, the conversations you have. You must now be focused on your dreams. You must be focused on your goals. It's always a result of a commitment to excellence, intelligent planning, and focused effort. And so in your life, I need you to get to that point where you become a master at this thing, a master at your life, a master at your goals, where you're 25 moves ahead. Like, you're so strategic. You got this thing, you strategizing. You got this thing mapped up. You're not just waking up and saying, well, whatever happens next week happens. But you become methodic about your life. You start planning stuff out. You start taking notes. You start checking. You start paying attention to things that you never take. You are 25 moves ahead. I want you to be like a master chess player where you're constantly thinking about what's next. I'm telling you right now, I need you to get focused. And when you get focused, it's okay to keep thinking about that same thing over and over again. But don't think about 10, 20 things. You get locked in like a pit bull on that one thing, and you focus on the now. You master the now. You become an expert of the now. I'm guaranteeing you, you're gonna blow up. This year, I will make this goal become a reality. I won't talk about it anymore. And after today, I'm not playing games anymore. I'm not pretending anymore. I'm not doing the facade no more. I don't care what people say or think. I'm not doing that no more. I want the influence, the impact, the income. I want it. It might take me 5 days to do what it takes you to do in 1 day, but I'm gonna do it in 5. It may take me 4 weeks to read a book that you can read in a week. And guess what happens? If you don't have phenomenal skill, but you got phenomenal will, you can make up for skill. You ain't gotta be perfect.
If you have scattered focus, you'll have a scattered life. If you keep chasing every distraction, you'll keep bleeding time. And before you know it, 5 years have gone by, 10 years gone by, and you're no closer to your goals. You drifted, and the drifting turns into habit, and the habit turns into your life, a life that you never wanted. Don't let that happen. Don't allow yourself to fall down that path of complacency, of doing the easy things, getting caught up in frivolous activities or politics or gossip or what everyone else is doing. You've got to focus on you. Focus on your thoughts. Stop letting the wind take you whichever direction it blows. You've got to make a deliberate and determined effort to guard your mind and point it at what you're working to achieve.
What do I really want? What's my outcome? What's my result? Let's try to make it clear, because that's what's going to drive us to move forward. Where focus goes, energy flows. Clarity equals power. The more clear you are exactly what you want, the faster and easier it is to achieve.
Let's imagine the day only went till 1 p.m. Obviously, you couldn't get everything in. So what do you have to focus on? If you're going to have done by 1, what do you have to focus on? The major priorities, done by 1. So write it down.
You say this next week, what are the most important outcomes for me to get this week in my business? And you just write those outcomes out, not your action items, the outcomes. If you do that and nothing else, you'll be ahead of the game.
But subconsciously, most people don't even believe they deserve the success. So they end up sabotaging themselves or not going all in on things.
Our brain, if we think that we're not entitled to a lot of success, creates something called success barriers. Our brain actually blocks out all these cool opportunities that we have to have success because our brain just thinks that we're not deserving of success, so it'll block it out. On the flip side, if you think that you're entitled to a lot of success and a lot of happiness, your brain will block out obstacles. You won't even look at different obstacles, and you'll just look at opportunity. You'll just see opportunity right in front of you. Well, that's what a strong sense of entitlement is. It's like, I am entitled to a great review from my customers. I'm entitled for people to like me. I'm entitled for people to be positive around me. And that's what your reticular activation system focuses in on. That is all. That is your reality.
Start working and developing yourself now and prepare yourself for what it is that you want, because you expect to get it.
A person that truly wants to be successful, they kind of show themselves. They're not the ones hiding. They're not the ones constantly celebrating. They're the ones that show up early. They're the ones that leave late. You get people that say, oh, listen, you don't have to work harder. You got to work smarter. No, you got to work harder and you got to work smarter. You got to do both of them. It's not a substitute. So when you find those individuals, they're not easily distracted. They come in, they ask for more work. They're the ones that are asking for pressure situations. They're not worried about when you criticize them or when you give them feedback, they go, I got it. They're going to improve themselves and make the adjustments needed to win. Staying dialed in on the end result. But you gotta crave that end result so intensely that the work becomes irrelevant.
LeBron wakes up every day and does what he does because he knows what he's going after. It's specific. And that's why I wake up with so much passion every day, because I know what I'm going to get. You know exactly what you want. You know exactly what it tastes like. You know what it looks like. You know what it smells like. When you understand what you're after, when you know what your outcomes are, when you know what you desire, you wake up every single morning and you go after it. The most successful people in the world are the most successful people in the world because they have clarity on what they want. People look at those of us who are successful like we're superhuman. We're not. We're normal people like you. We're problems just like you. The only difference is we wake up with clarity. A part of your 10,000 hours of working on your gift is also 10,000 hours on shutting out everything else. Stuff is going to happen. The stuff that you can't control, forget about it. You're going to stop wasting energy and effort on stuff you can't control. But the stuff you can control, I want you to own it. If you got a 90-minute block, I want you to own that 90-minute block. If you got 45 minutes, I want you to own that 45 minutes. Because I'm telling you,
Keep dreaming. Keep looking at your dream. Keep your mind locked in on the dream. Keep focusing on the dream, and you'll get it.
Champions are made when the stands are empty. That means when no one's watching you, that's who you really are.
It's what you do behind closed doors that no one sees.
When no one's looking at you, when no one's there to judge you, except yourself. And you gotta do those things that suck, like putting in those extra reps, studying 5 more chapters, writing 3 more pages. What do you do then? Do you do that extra work, or do you back off? That's the separator in life. That's what separates the average and ordinary from those who dominate.
Self-identity is the biggest problem that we have going right now. That's why social media is so relevant, because you're looking at everybody else's life and you're saying, that's the perfect life. Oh my gosh, and I want this and I want that. But you're afraid to actually test yourself every day. If any man in here in the military knows one thing, you gotta stand like a trooper. You got to present yourself like a man every freaking day. Day in, day out, day in, day out. How you do one thing is how you do everything. If we don't get to the mindset of being consistent and having some habits that's gonna frame our life, you just naturally do things habitually if you don't set your mind and say, you know what, I'm gonna do this on purpose. So if that's you and you're listening to this and you think you can get by doing half that in some areas, and do great in other areas and make millions of dollars, it's not gonna happen, guys, because it's a habit, it's a character trait, it's a value, it's the way you are. If you want to cultivate the proper habits, you have to look at the finite details and execute on them all time. But most of the world's gonna sit around, they're gonna do nothing, and they're gonna wonder why they're miserable.
The answers lie in the repetitions. You must not forget the repetitions you put into trying to dominate the craft that you're in today.
The work is where the satisfaction comes from. It's where the happiness comes from.
It's my journey. Nobody decides what I make. Nobody decides how I live. Nobody decides my life. I'm not a victim. I'm a victor. It's my journey, and I decided this is your journey. You're not a victim. This is your journey. It can end the way you want it to end, but you gotta grind like you want it. You can grind your way through it, or you can cry your way through it.
Always embrace the suck, adapt to the suck. Greatness is not something that you meet once. It's something that you meet thousands of times in your life, and you don't reach it if you're not constantly in constant pursuit of greatness. So if my mantra is saying right now, I'm great, I just lost. We're not gonna do that crap. We're not gonna triple down on our strengths. We're gonna grow. We're gonna work on our weaknesses so we grow. We need friction to do that. David Goggins, how did you become who you are today? I put a bunch of friction in my life, and I grew.
Stop letting slide. Stop cutting corners. Stop taking it easy. Stop letting that little voice win the war in your brain that says, tomorrow, I'll start Monday. You know, it's not that big of a deal. Give yourself a break. You work really hard. You deserve this. If you don't silence voice, you will lose everything. And when things get the hardest, that is the most important time where you have to continue to move forward, putting one foot down in front of another, to make investments in your mental toughness, in your grit, in your fortitude, in your ability to persevere, in your ability to stay disciplined, because conditions will never be perfect. When we talk about it being freezing cold outside, and I'm talking about how I know that I need to go get acclimated to that because I can feel myself getting soft, that is me recognizing that my mental fortitude is getting rounded off when it needs to be very sharp.
Go in the mirror, take a good look at yourself, and say, how sharp is my disciplined blade right now? When you walk by the mirror, you go, that's a bat right there. You say that? Think tonight when you're looking in the mirror.
We have to become aware of where we are mentally, and we have to make investments to harden ourselves mentally so that we can prepare for these hard times that come over and over and over and over again.
Every single day, as it sucks, as it's a grind, as it feels like a hustle, as it feels like compromising everything, and it's just like, oh my gosh. Honor this process as a challenge to become a better human, to develop a better attitude, to develop those skills that are required, to transform, to test your mettle, and what am I really made of?
If you can build
build yourself into someone who can work through these things as they come, there's really nothing that can stop you. You end up winning because everybody else can't make it through. You can't get around doing the work, and you're not going to figure out how to do it. You're not the first person in the world that's going to figure out how to do it without doing it hard and putting in the time.
It's a lifestyle. You don't want to go run, you go run. You don't want to go swim, you go swim. You don't want to study, you study. That's how you start to callous your mind. So that became my life.
You want a guaranteed success? This is the only way there is to build you into a mentally tough individual who has the fortitude, the perseverance, the discipline, the mental toughness to kick on a daily basis and laugh when the world kicks you in the face. That is what you have to become.
It's going to suck. It's not going to be fun. Do something that sucks every single day of your life. That's how you grow. Embrace the suck.
Some people want it to happen. Some wish it would happen. Others make it happen.
Nothing happens until something moves. Progress is made with action, not with promises or intentions. They mean nothing unless they're backed up by activity.
You got one or two choices. You either suffer becoming a new person and enjoy it, or you suffer staying the same and you don't enjoy it. You're gonna suffer either way. There's no coasting, because coasting only goes down. It's either you grind and rise, or you're miserable and you fall. Both are hard, either in the best way or in the worst way.
Your mind has to be stronger than your feelings. Think about every poor decision you've made in your life. I'm sure there's more emotion that was involved in it than there was mind. Every single one of them. Your feelings keep you in bed. Your mind tells you, get up.
Your mood, your feelings are irrelevant. Your life is going to be created by the results of the actions you take, not by the mood that you're in when you take them.
Discipline is doing what you hate to do, but do it like you love it.
I'm wired differently. I don't go to bed when I'm tired. I go to bed when I'm finished. Nobody that's done anything that you think is great has ever been motivated the whole time. In fact, most of it's been created over the history of mankind. All that you admire, all the buildings, all the accomplishments, all the championships, all the greatness, all the great books, all the great leaders, all the great technology that you use every single day was created by people who didn't feel like it. They were tired. They weren't motivated. The world was created by people like that. So stop expecting to feel good about what it is you're trying to do and start investing in the skill set of being able to push through when conditions are not ideal. That is the only way you will succeed long term, brother. The only way.
And you won't with these people who've given sweat, who's given blood, who's given tears. You want what they paid for, and it ain't free. It's not always going to be easy. They're not going to give it to you. They're not going to give you success. They're not going to put it on the platter. But if you're willing to work for it, if you're willing to put the sweat, the blood, the tears, if you're willing to earn it, you can have it. You got to impose your will.
Turn your feelings off when it comes down to you wanting to be better. I'm talking about the grind. When that alarm clock goes off, it's raining outside, it's cold outside, when you don't want to put those long hours in at work, when you know everybody's gone home to their families, but you want to be the top salesperson in the world, or you want to be the best lawyer in the world. When everybody leaves to go home in a 15-story building, every office dark, and only one office with one light on, that's right there you gotta be. You can't have feelings about when everybody leaves. Oh man, I wish I was going home to my beautiful family. Your feelings have to go away if you want to achieve greatness.
The heart of a champion is a light switch that's always on. It doesn't go on and off when someone's watching. It's constant.
What you should be focusing on all the time is what you are doing this for. You look at your kid instead of thinking, oh man, I've got to give up these 3 hours at night. No, I am going to provide for that kid to go to a good high school, to a good college. I'm going to take care of them, and I'm going to build awesome memories with them because of what I'm doing now. When you think about, oh oh, I've got to get up my time with my buddies. No, think about you being on the back of the yacht with all your boys having a good time. That's why you're doing this. I want you to tie your feelings to that as you're working. So when you feel like slowing down, I want you to remember what you're after. You got to stay focused on what it is you are gaining, not what you are giving up. It costs a lot. You're going to trade a whole lot of your life. You're going to trade important things in your life to have life. It takes major payment from your life to build important, great, big things that benefit other people. You're going to have to do a lot you don't want to do to get where you want to go. That is how it works. There is no hack. There's no program. There's no $997 a month AI hack that's going to get you there. You got to build it within yourself. And once you build yourself into that kind of, now you have an advantage over everybody else because everybody else is just like you. They quit when they don't feel like it. And if you become the person who cannot quit no matter what, no matter how they feel their gets done, you cannot be stopped. How can you stop someone that gets stuff done regardless of what's going on in their life? You cannot stop that person. If you want to become that kind of person, which is required to build big, important, great things, you are going to have to learn to execute when you don't feel like it.
Life is going to beat you to the ground. Life will break you. Just when you think you've been through the most hell you'll ever face, it'll hit you even harder. And you'll think about quitting every single day.
I know what it's like to wake up every day with a sense of dread, and you don't know how you're gonna make it, and you're all alone. And you've got to say to yourself, when you fail again and again, after facing rejection after rejection, many times with tears in your eyes, it's possible. When life knocks you down, sometimes you gotta take 2 steps back in order to move forward.
When you're in that darkness, it's very easy to think you're hopeless. It's very easy to believe it's over for you. It's very easy to feel defeated. It's very easy to sit there and hope that something or someone will come and save you. But the truth is, you gotta save yourself. You can't sit there and wait for the light to come. You've got to move forward and step your way into the light. That darkness is temporary, and you can fight your way out of it. It only takes willpower.
You think this is it for you? This is far from it. You gotta change your mindset. You gotta start thinking in ways you haven't thought before. You gotta start seeing possibilities for your life you haven't seen before.
You can achieve more than you think you can. You're capable of things that would surprise yourself.
You've got to start using your mind to find new ways to break through all these roadblocks in front of you. When you have the will, you'll find a way. And there is always a way. You can get through whatever is in front of you if you decide to.
You just gotta stand for what you believe in and don't let anything turn you around. This is your life. This is your dream. Nobody's gonna fight for what you want more than you. If it's gonna happen, it's up to you to make it happen. If you can focus on finding those ways to win and stop focusing on the ways you're losing, you can make it.
Everything in your way is just life testing you. Do not fail the test. Rise up and destroy these barriers.
The people who win, the most common trait they have is they find solutions, while the losers find problems.
The winners are relentlessly working to move their lives into a better state of being. They don't care about the facts. They don't care about the odds. All they do is make a plan and execute the plan.
If you change your way of thinking and start seeing the possibilities for you and your current situation, you'll start moving toward victory and away from feeling helpless.
But you have got to affirm to yourself that you have what it takes to get through this. Your mind and spirit need to be aligned in the feeling of certainty that I will not stop until I succeed. I will make it happen, no matter what it takes, that this is nothing but a temporary inconvenience. There is nothing that can stop me from reaching my dream.
Most people won't do that. Most people give up so easily. They never use the real power inside them to do anything great because they can't see those possibilities for their life.
Your vision and your perspective of how you see your life is what dictates what you become. If you only ever see yourself as doing just enough to get by, that's all you'll ever achieve. But if you see yourself doing massive things, living beyond what other people could possibly conceive, that's exactly what you'll get. Where your focus goes, your energy flows.
So when you're going through turbulence on your path to success, you've got to hold that vision firmly in your mind.
Don't allow this negative world to throw you off course. Hold the vision and keep walking toward it.
Your mind is your strongest weapon. It has the ability to adapt to any level of pain or difficulty imaginable. It's up to you to harness its power and use it to create new things for you. You can become more creative, more intelligent, more unstoppable. It's only a matter of your mind. You control your mind, you control your life. And when you control your mind, there is nothing out of reach for you. You can be, do, and have whatever you want. The only one who can stop you is you.
Some of you have had a marriage fall apart. Some of you have been disappointed in a dream, in a desire, in a goal, in an ambition. And things just haven't worked out the way you wanted them to. And you're starting maybe to feel sometimes a little hopeless. It'll never change. I'll never change. Nothing's ever going to be any different.
And we rationalize with ourselves to where we automatically stop. That's why a bunch of us give up so much in life so quickly. But suppose I told you the greatest pain of my life is the reason I'm standing here today. See, sometimes we think the pain is what controls us. It's actually our subconscious mind. That if we ever tapped into that, that's what dictates most of our lives. If you don't control pain, it'll control you.
What is it that will make it worth it for you? To face the rejections, to brainstorm and not be intimidated and say, I can do this. What is it that will make it worth it for you to raise the bar on yourself and say, I got some more stuff in me? What is it that will make it worth it for you to know your vitamin, that you become empowered by it? What is it that will make it for you when you want to give up and things are working against you? What is it that will help you get back up again?
When everything's relaxed and peaceful. Yes, we know what we want to be. We know the person we want to become, right? It's very easy to calculate it in that rhyme to reason when nothing's on the line. But as soon as the heart starts to race, or the bill and the pressure of the lifestyle, the wife, the family, or the job, all of a sudden, we start to settle.
I don't want to be that person that's great when everything is going all good, but when something goes wrong, they flee and they want nothing to do with it. I want to be that person that's going to show up rain, sleet, or snow, and they're going to give you everything they got. You got to take my life before you take my drive. I'm talking concrete commitment. I'm talking a commitment that says, I am going to stay true to what I said I would do long after the mood that I've set it in has left. Because character is not something we inherit. Character is something we gotta wake up every single day, we gotta fight and we gotta build it. In the midst of adversity, in the midst of challenges, in the midst of failures, we gotta get up every single day and we gotta fight for peace. We gotta fight for happiness. We gotta fight for joy.
Don't quit, don't give up, don't be a victim, don't take the easy path, don't squander this life. Instead, live with fortitude.
There's times when you think, is there anything that can justify as to why I'm always going through something hard? Sometimes nothing ever makes sense that you're going through. I'm going through hurt, I'm going through pain, there's death in my family, there's sickness everywhere. But I tell you what, you can't throw in the towel. It just means it's time for you to fight harder. It's time for you to stand tall. Lift your heads to the sky and say, I will overcome this. I will fight back. There's always something good that can come from bad.
We live in a world, ladies and gentlemen, where people want instant gratification. They want it right now. No, it's simple, but it's not easy. It's a system that if you work the system, it works if you work it. But make no mistake about it, it's hard. And you are the determining factor. The people that make it in this world look around for the circumstances that they want, and if they can't find them, they create them. It's you that you must take personal responsibility to make it happen. It's hard. No, easy is not an option. However, ladies and gentlemen, what you will discover is that it's worth it.
If people ask you, say, how you doing? Even if you're having some difficult times, say, I'm blessed and highly favored. Because anytime you wake up and you don't have a white chalk outline around your body, it's a great day. And so I say to you, it's possible you can live your dream. If it's becoming a diamond, if it's having more, if it's achieving more, if it's being a better father, being a better mother, whatever it is, it's possible you can live your dream.
It's necessary that you have a plan of action, that you're resilient, that you stick to, and you work with the system, that you have the vision and never give up, that you become creative and relentless and keep on coming back again and again and again, and that it's you that you got to take personal responsibility to make it happen, and that it's hard. Easy is not an option. And when life knocks you down, jump back up and say, it's not over until I win.
There are going to be times that try your heart so severely that everything in you wants to quit. Everything in you wants to collapse. Everything in you wants to go down. Everything in you wants to go crazy. You're in the midst of a storm, and it is what you do when you are alone in that dark place that determines how much you really learn from life.
The ultimate measure of a person is not where they stand in moments of comfort and convenience, but where they stand in times of challenge and controversy, when all is breaking loose. That's where we find out what you are really made of.
When life throws its punches, when you're on the ground, gasping for air, I need you to remember that it's not about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward.
You're not a victim. Stop acting like one. You're a warrior. You shape your own destiny.
In the furnace of your struggles, in the heat of your pain, you are being forged into a beast. You become unstoppable by being broken over and over and over by life. You get to the point where you've been hurt so much that you know what the worst pain is like, and you can handle it every single time.
Don't see your pain as a barrier. See it as a building block. Every moment of suffering, every time you break down, it is adding to your strength, adding to your resilience. The more you go through, the more you grow through. It is preparing you for greater battles, which lead to greater victories.
An oak tree becomes strong under pressure, under the forces of nature, and you become stronger under the pressures of life. The things that break you are the very things that make you unbreakable. They are the fire that tempers your spirit, the hammer that shapes your resolve.
In this process of being broken and rebuilt, you'll find a version of yourself that you never knew existed. A version of you that is not just surviving, but that's thriving. A version of you that doesn't run from challenges like most people do, but instead steps toward them and says, bring it on! That version of you knows that every setback is a setup for a comeback.
We all feel broken inside at times. That's a part of being a human being. But the difference is, do you give up or do you get up? Do you give in to the pain and the hardship or do you decide, I will not allow that? You need to decide right now that I am bigger than this. I can get through this. I'm coming back from this and I will be better because of it.
When you feel broken inside, when the pain seems too much to bear, you got to remind yourself that this might be a page in your life, this might be a chapter in your life, but it is not the whole book. This is not your whole story. Every battle, every scar is preparing you for something bigger, something greater.
You're not defined by what breaks you. You're defined by how you rebuild yourself. So stand tall, even if you're standing on broken pieces, and tell yourself that no matter how hard things are or how hard things get, I will never give up. I'm not done yet. I'll come back stronger. Whatever you do, don't lose your head. Pull your feelings out of it. Pull your insecurities out of it, your vulnerabilities, and stand on what you know. Yes, the road's been bumpy. Yes, the road's been tough. Yes, the road's been difficult. Yes, you've shed some tears. And yes, you've endured some pain. But it is the bumpy road to better. You can't get to better without bumpy. You can't get to better without pain. You can't get to better without tears. There is no pill you can take. There is no simple solution. It is the bumpiness of the road that leads you to better.
Whatever you're going through right now, it's happening on purpose. It is happening in order to forge you into the person that you were created to be. But if you quit, if you let the darkness, you let the pain, you let the agony win, you will never get to be that person.
The people who make it through the hardest times in life and come out better because of it are the people who are willing to look at the problems and issues in front of them, assess the situation, take responsibility for fixing it, and come up with solutions to solve them.
Your pain is not the end. It's the beginning of a new you. A you that's tougher, wiser, and unstoppable. So when you're broken, remember, it's just the universe saying it's time to build the best version of you. Embrace it, fight through it, and emerge victorious. Because what doesn't you truly does make you stronger.
It doesn't mean that you'll always get it right. You'll fail over and over and over again. More times than you can count. What it does mean, though, is that when things don't work out, when you fall flat on your face and you're embarrassed and you feel like breaking down crying and everything goes wrong, you pick yourself up, you get yourself back on track, you wipe away your tears and forget about all the mistakes you've made, and you find a way to move forward.
Is it easy? Absolutely not. It takes everything in you to do this. Your internal voice will be telling you to stop, to give up. So you gotta force your mind and your feelings to cooperate with the goals you set in motion. Staying focused on making a way for this thing to work, come hell or high water.
If you keep that mindset locked in your brain and don't allow outside forces to mess with you and your goals, you will find a way to win.
We all think about quitting when it's hard. It's hard to process information during pain because that pain takes over and you can't think rationally. You're thinking about fight or flight, save yourself. That's not a rational thought. It's not a thought that's going to get you through hard times. When you quit, your mind says we're done. So it doesn't expand. There's no expansion when you quit. You will not find toughness in a comfortable environment. The only way you find it is to drown yourself in a position where you're just out of sorts, where you can't swim and you're drowning. You're drowning in life. You're now like, I gotta get out of here. You're in fight or flight. It's cold. I can't be cold this long. And then this is where that 1 second decision comes in. You forgot every reason why you wanted to be there. All you want to do is go back home. You want the warmth. You may want something to eat. All those things of comfort are there in that 1 second. What you have to do in that 1 second is say, you know what, man? Dad, I'm gonna figure out how to backstroke or something. It's about gaining control of your mind, putting things back in the proper perspective, and then saying, I really do want to be here, and I'm gonna have a bunch of these 1 seconds, and I have to learn to control these, because if I fail one of these 1 seconds, I will not be a doctor, I will not be a lawyer, I will not be whatever it is. When you say, this sucks, I'm drowning, I'm miserable, I'm suffering, I'm broken, but I'm not going anywhere. What happens to your mind, it says, he's not leaving. So we gotta expand. We gotta grow. We gotta figure this thing out. These compartments in your brain, they have to work. And then you start to engage parts of your mind that you never engaged before. When you're in suffer mode and you say, I'm not gonna quit, you're forcing your brain now to operate on a level it's not used to. But then it becomes used to it.
If you want to take the island, burn the boats. When you burn the boats, you tap into a level of drive, determination, and courage that you may have never experienced before. You become unstoppable.
If you're tired of starting over, stop quitting. If your life at times feels like, looks like labor, you are doing it right.
Keep on pushing. I'm telling you what, there is breakthrough coming, and when you're holding your prize, the pain and the suffering will pale in comparison. Don't give up! It will be worth it! Life is 10% what happens to you, 90% how you react.
And I'm telling you, the way to ignite the dream is you gotta shut out every single thing, and you gotta believe I am the greatest.
If you're willing to fight your way through cancer, fight your way through that academic struggle, fight your way through that divorce, fight your way through whatever comes up against you, on the other side is a better life.
Don't let this negative world get you. Don't let it win.
You gotta have your back against the wall and give yourself no way out.
Because when it's do or die, you'll find a way to do it.
And I'm saying to you,
What if all of us took that attitude after we face a rejection and a no, or we have a meeting and no one shows up, or somebody say, you can count on me, and they don't come through. Nobody believes in you. You've lost again and again and again. The lights are cut off, but you're still looking at your dream, reviewing it every day, and say to yourself, it's not over until I win.
See, what you become in the process is more important than the dream. That's far more important. The kind of person you become, the character that you build, the courage that you develop, the faith that you're manifesting. Oh, it's just something that you get up in the morning, you look yourself in the mirror, you're a different kind of person. You walk with a different kind of spirit. And people know that you know what life is, that you have embraced life. You knew it was hard, but you did it hard.
In your life's journey, there will come times that put your spirit to the ultimate test. You'll be tempted to break, to let go, to descend into madness. You'll feel isolated in the hardest of trials.
And what you choose to do in solitude is your only companion. That's where true learning happens. It's in the silent moments, when you're all alone, where your response to life's challenges truly shapes you.
The true measure of your character isn't taken when life is easy and all is going well, but rather at those moments when you're faced with trials and storms, when everything goes dark for you.
The thing is about darkness, though, is most people freak out when things get dark. When they're in the dark and can't see, they start panicking and don't know what to do or where to go.
But what you need to do is be willing to sit patiently in that darkness, assess what's happening, and become used to the challenge of that darkness. If you do that, your eyes will begin to adjust to the dark, and you will see exactly the way you should go to make progress.
You got to become comfortable with the pain.
Stare it straight in the face. Don't run from it anymore. Stand still and let it run from you.
When things go wrong, when you run out of money, when things don't work out for you, when the people you care about leave you, what keeps you going?
If all you're doing it for is a house or a car, that can stop you. You'll give in so quickly. But when you're doing it because of something within you is burning to do it, when you're doing it for the people you love, when you're doing it for your family, when you're doing it for the pride of who you are, no mountain, no trial, no tribulation can stop you. You cannot be broken anymore.
Strength is easy when untested, but it's when adversity strikes, when you're hit hard by loss, ailment, injustice. It's in these times that your spirit is refined. No matter how rocky the path, it's nothing but a journey to a greater version of yourself. You can't reach new heights without the climb. You can't enjoy the sunshine without enduring the storm.
No one's coming to save you, but you can save yourself. You can pull yourself out of the sewer of life.
Anything you focus your mind on, you have the ability to change. You don't like the way your life is going, you're the only one who can change it. You don't have to be an alcoholic. You don't have to be a failure. You don't have to be anything you don't want to be. If you just decide within yourself to change your mind.
When it feels like everything is working against you, that is your greatest moment to show the whole world what you're capable of doing. This is the time you present your tenacity, your endurance, your strength to the world.
I don't care who you are. I don't care what position you're in. I don't care what it looks like to people. You can come back again. You're not done.
You gotta stand up for yourself. You may be embarrassed, but stand up. You may feel like crying, but stand up. You may feel like it's all over already, but stand up. You may not see a way out of all this mess, but stand up.
The more you fight, the more you keep coming back, the more you'll realize how much energy, how much resourcefulness, how much power you have left in you.
You don't judge your entire life based on your current circumstances. Your current circumstances are temporary. You will not be where you are now for the rest of your life. Things will get better, and you got to keep in the back of your mind at all times, no matter what I go through, I must not give up. Expect me to come back. I don't know how long it'll take, but expect me to come back. I don't know what I'll have to go through, but expect me to come back. I don't know what I'm going to lose along the way,
but expect me to come back.
It's the chaos of the time that creates a conqueror in the person. Those exceptional people who are uncomfortable with what's happening to them and rise to the challenge because they refuse to allow the chaos around them to determine the conqueror within them. People who resist the toe to go down and stand fiercely in spite of opposition and say, I'm gonna do it anyway.
Do you not know that where you are will pass? What you're worried about will pass. One day you're gonna look back and laugh at the thing that kept you up all night. One day you'll see that it was not nearly as major as you thought it was.
There's more in you right now than what's represented in your bank account. There's more in you right now that's being reflected by your life right now. Your life at this time isn't a true reflection of your potential.
You are a walking goldmine of talents, abilities, ideas. Do you ever dream of doing something like starting your own business? Mastering a skill? That's the real you knocking on the door of your mind, hinting that there's so much more to dig into. Your life right now might be on one level, but you've got so many more levels of potential stacked up inside you, ready to be unlocked.
You've got to be cautious and careful of the voice going on inside your head. You got to constantly monitor that internal dialogue. Whenever you feel a negative tone of voice playing in your head, I want you to shut it down and reinforce your brain with positivity, telling yourself, I got what it takes. Today is my day. I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna do it. And nothing will stand in my way. I have enough power. I have enough persistence. I have enough perseverance to make it happen.
The things you're saying to yourself determine whether you win or lose. What you say to yourself has all the world to do with how far you can go. Your attitude determines your aptitude. What you feed your mind will either be the fuel for your success or the poison for your failure.
Your attitude isn't just a small player in the game of life. It's the coach, the quarterback, and the crowd that's either cheering you on or booing you down, shaping how high you can climb or how flat you can fall.
If you believe you're a winner, your actions will align to that belief. If you tell yourself you can overcome, your brain starts working overtime to make that a reality. Where focus goes, energy flows. So if you're telling yourself that there is a way through this, you will look for solutions. But if you believe you're doomed, you'll only see roadblocks.
Every time you catch yourself slipping into negativity, shut that down. Replace I can't with I will, I might with I must, I hope with I know. Your words are a self-fulfilling prophecy, so speak victory, speak courage, speak success.
When life hits you, don't back down, buck back. Life's not always gonna go easy on you. It will strip you to your core and test you on every level. The amount of pressure it'll pile on you will try to destroy you. Do not allow that. This is no time to lose your head. This is no time to quit. This is no time to faint. This is no time to collapse. This is no time to give in.
Decide within you that I will get something out of this pain. I'm gonna push through it. I'm gonna push through when it gets tough. I'm gonna push through when I get tired. I'm gonna push through when it's not convenient. I'm gonna push through when my heart is broken. I'm gonna push through when I get rejected. I'm gonna push through when I'm broke. No matter what happens to me, I am going to push through it. That means that you might have been kicked, you might have been shoved, and might have been shot, but you're still standing, ready to fight whatever comes at you.
Getting successful, it's not a magic trick. You have a say-so in that. You can decide to be rich, but you first have to think it. The difference between successful people and non-successful people is here. You have to change this. If you keep doing what you've been doing, you're gonna keep getting what you've been getting. So if you're in a place in your life and you ain't happy with it, you have to change some things. But you have to make a conscientious decision that you're going to change. And it's not dependent on anybody else. It don't matter what your mama think. It don't matter what your coworkers think. It don't matter what your siblings think. It don't matter what your children think. It don't matter. They have nothing to do with it. This decision is yours and yours alone.
Never let anybody tell you that you can't.
A lot of time as a leader, a lot of time as a business builder, a lot of time as a craftsperson, you will have an idea for a business or a product where the rest of the world says that's impossible. And we have to be coming from a place from within where our I can is larger than our I can't. You absolutely must do the interior work required when you have these fiery levels of confidence where when the world is saying, you know what, I dismiss your vision, well, that is impossible. You have to be that lone voice who goes, no, you know what, it is possible. And just watch me do it.
I am not going to allow anything to shake me. I'm not going to allow anything to stop me. I'm not going to allow anything to stop my happiness and my growth. You got to live beyond reality. Even before you do it, see yourself doing it. Even before you accomplish it, see yourself accomplishing it. Your perception is everything, not your circumstances, not your situation. It's how you see it. And if you can learn to see it correctly, if you can learn to just get past the pain, get past the little hurt, and if you can learn to see it properly, I guarantee you can be what you want to be. You can have what you want to have. You can do what you want to do.
There's people in here far superior than me. But there's no one in here that's going to work harder than me. We get up at 5:30 in the morning, it's pissing rain outside. Our competition's sleeping. I love that.
I will not be outworked, period. Where I excel is ridiculous, sickening work ethic. While the other guy's sleeping, I'm working. While the other guy's eating, I'm working.
Talent you have naturally. Skill is only developed by hours and hours and hours of beating on your craft. The commodity, the majority of people who aren't achieving the things that they want is strictly based on hustle. It's strictly based on being outworked. It's strictly based on missing crucial opportunities.
You might outwork me for 30 days or 60 days or 90 days, but you ain't gonna beat me over a year. You can't outwork me over 2 years. I'm gonna get you eventually. I'm a dripping damn faucet. I just keep coming at you. I'm too damn tough to give up. Most people half-ass their life all the time. I knew they were gonna get tired. They were gonna get down. They quit improving themselves. They start sleeping in. I'm not gonna do that, so I'm gonna get up early. I'm gonna keep getting wide. I'm gonna stay relentless.
I might not be the fastest, the strongest, the smartest, none of that crap, but I'll outwork you and I flat out want it more than you. It's relentlessness, man. It's pushing past barriers. It's every time you get somewhere, it's wanting to go to the next level.
You guys are entitled to what you're entitled to is an opportunity to show up and be your best. Everyone's like, oh, Craig, you're lucky. You got this, Craig, you're lucky. Everything you do is luck. Bullshit. Because before it was luck, it was a belief. And every day with no one watching at 5 in the morning by myself, I trained it because I believed in it. In hopes that one day my trained ability collided with an opportunity to show it off. That's what luck is. That's what success is. Nothing subjective in there. It's all you.
You gotta look at how much you're working. You gotta look at how much effort you're making, the intention you're putting out there.
You gotta cross the line in life. You gotta go where nobody else wants to go. You gotta work the hours nobody else wants the hours.
You have to resolve yourself today that you're going to dominate, that you're not average and ordinary. There has to become a point where you make a decision. We're gonna dominate. We're here to win. We are not here to play. And that takes some intestinal fortitude. I'm where I'm at because I just flat decided I'm going to be a player. I decided at some point I get to choose who I am. The world doesn't tell me who I am. I write these chapters.
You don't need the world's permission. You don't need anyone's permission to be great. Only permission you need is from who stares at you back in the mirror every day and a willingness to do the hard work longer, harder, and better than anyone. So what are you gonna do? Are you gonna buy another success program looking for the secret recipe that doesn't exist? Or are you gonna go do something right now and do something that brings you closer to greatness? That's your choice.
You're gonna have more days you don't wanna do something than you are gonna want to.
Most days, you're not gonna be pumped up. Most days, you're gonna feel weak. Most days, you're gonna wanna stay in bed. Most days, you're gonna feel like most people do. But if you do what most people do, which is give yourself reasons to not get the tasks done, not get to work, not get out of bed, you're gonna end up like most people, barely getting by, being unhappy with their lives. You gotta make a different decision. You gotta decide enough is enough. You've had enough of being average and ordinary. You're tired of being mediocre. You're now gonna push yourself.
It's gonna feel better when it's over. You know that when you get done doing the hard thing, it's gonna feel better. Waking up, working out, taking care of some tedious task. You know you will feel better when it is done. You also know that if you don't do the hard thing, the thing that you don't want to do, that you don't feel like doing, you know if you don't do it, you're going to feel inferior. You know you're going to feel weak. And that feeling, that horrible feeling, you know that feeling too. You know it. You know it's true. Those are the two outcomes. One will cause you some short-term gratification. You'll get to sleep a little bit more. You won't have to put out during a workout. You don't have to do this tedious task. You'll get some short-term gratification, but the long-term regret will be strong, and it will inflict pain on you.
Successful people do one thing more than others. Make movement. They get it done.
While most people are slacking off, relaxing, wasting their time, the winners in the world are putting in work, studying their craft, practicing, running drills on how to perform better, putting in all those extra hours when everyone's already gone home.
And of course, you'll get tired. You'll get worn out. You'll feel exhausted and lazy and not want to work. And you'll have some really, really rough days. But when that happens, you gotta tell yourself, I will not stop. I don't care what I have to go through. I'm gonna get this done, no matter what.
You do what you know you need to do to move forward. And when you do that thing, you know you're gonna feel strong, and you're gonna feel gratified, and you're gonna feel worthy of this life. That's how you're gonna feel when you do what you're supposed to do. Remember that. Remember that the pain right now will absolutely pay off in the future. And the capitulation and the conceding defeat to weakness, that will absolutely result in the pain of regret and remorse later. You know this to be true, so don't allow it. Remember the feeling of victory that comes from doing the right thing, the hard thing. Remember that feeling, and then go get it done.
The work comes before the belief. You're gonna have to do some work, and you're gonna have to keep doing it consistently, even when you're not seeing the results, even when you feel like giving up. And eventually, results will begin to sprout as you do this. And when that happens, you're gonna build faith, build belief in what it is you're doing. You start to realize, hey, I can really do this. This is actually working. And as you work more success sprouts. You're going to start to create something. You have no motivation, you have no drive, you have no ambition, but you're going to force it to happen anyway, because that's what bad do, and that's what you are. You're going to go through day by day by day doing the work regardless of how you feel like it. And then what's going to happen is you're going to see a little bit of a result. And when you see that little bit of result, you're going to get happy. And what's going to happen in your brain is it's going to open up the possibilities for you of what you can actually achieve, because now you can clearly see that if I do the work, this result will happen. And when this result starts to happen, you get excited. And guess what comes with the excitement? The motivation.
The inches we need to become dominant in any field of life are all around us. It's in every task, every project, every mission, every day, every second. When you do the small things, how do you do them? Because if you're putting in 120% in those small tasks, I know for sure you're doing it in everything else.
It's the people who are willing to do twice as much as anyone else. Those are the people who end up winning. You go the extra mile, you push through the extra round, you do those extra reps. That's what defines if you become first or forgotten.
Champions are focused on the goal. They don't have time to be doing stuff that's not going to help them toward the goal. And so what you're focusing on throughout the course of the day, it has to change. What you're looking at, what you're reading, what you're watching, the conversations you have.
You gotta be focused entirely on your dreams, entirely on your goals. When you're great, you don't just focus on a week, you don't just focus on a month, you don't just focus on a year. You concentrate on the 24 hours that's in front of you and work as hard as possible to nail it.
You dominate in the dark when nobody sees you, when no one knows what you're doing. Those late hours and early mornings where you're working your ass. Nothing feels better than giving everything you have to the grind.
And a lot of people are confused as to how high drive, high success people can wake up every day and go at it. It's because they know that even if they feel bad, even if they don't feel like doing it, if they push through just a little bit, just a few more days, they're gonna see something that is gonna start to make them feel good. It's gonna give them belief, it's gonna get them motivation, and it's gonna make them feel like doing this is absolutely worth it, and not only worth it, but exciting. So if you're in this phase where it doesn't feel like it's worth it, where it doesn't feel like it's very fun, just remember, if you keep going and you do not let your feelings dictate what your actions will be, the results will always be there.
When you get to sit back and unwind after working yourself to the bone for those goals and dreams, you'll feel a sense of pride you might have never felt before. But you only ever get to that point if you get up and get to work.
The time of year, we try to make our dreams come true. But the reality of all that is sacrifice. And those dreams quickly become nightmares. But in those nightmares are where our demons lie. That's the domain in which they know we don't want to go into all those early mornings. It wakes up all these things that we failed at. Those demons are in those nightmares. That's what keeps us from accomplishing our dreams. So this year, their back is turned to the doorway. Because they know you ain't going into nightmare land, but you're going in there. And when the backs are turned, you're going to rear naked choke them out, every one of them. That's the mentality you must have, and always have.
People want to find peace immediately. You're going to find peace from going to war with yourself.
Make a declaration to yourself. Declare all out war that you're going to get out of this rut.
We are in control of our mind. We believe it's the other way around. No, we put in our minds what we should do. We have to reprogram it and tell us, no, we're good. This sucks, but it's okay.
If you don't program yourself, life will program you. In order to begin to reinvent your life, you've got to make a conscious, deliberate, determined effort. You really have got to put all of yourself into it. It's very challenging to act, to do those things. There are times when you're looking at it and you say, I know I need to do this, but I don't feel like it.
What most of us are looking for is a special feeling of, oh, I feel great this morning. I'm going to get out of bed and get a quick 5 miles in or go to the gym. You're looking for that feeling. Let me tell you one thing, it ain't going to come. You have to learn to do when you don't want to do. Learn to bring that savage mentality out of yourself. The animalistic one. You think a savage gets up about how he feels or how she feels? Then just do it. Learn to be your best self when you're least motivated. Stop looking for a feeling to control what goes on in your life.
You should quit quitting. Any path you take to get where you want to be, if that place is worthwhile to go, it's going to be hard. So quit judging your quitting based upon how hard something is, because every single path that you could possibly take to get somewhere where you want to be is going to be hard. Struggle, pain, misery, frustration, those are signs that you are on the right path and making progress. Nobody that is where you want to be has gotten there without these struggles, without the bleeding, without the pain, without the depression, without the misery. Nobody. And if you want to be something great, you are going to have to learn to accept the struggle as part of the recipe. Every single day you need to look yourself in the mirror and ask yourself, what am I willing to do to get what I want? And if the answer is whatever the I have to, you'll get there in time.
You're setting the example every single day of your life. You have to constantly that machine. The machine is your mind. You got to keep challenging it every day.
The price of regret is much heavier than the price of discipline. You never want to wake up one day, 1 week, 1 month, 1 year down the road and go, man, I wish I would have listened to my gut. I wish I would have done this thing. You don't want to live in regret. If there's something you want to get done in work, your relationships, school, whatever it is, do it.
Life is one big head game. And once you learn to play that game, it's no longer a game anymore at all. You can start living your life.